Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Mayhem, and I'm recording this video late. I have a myriad of excuses, but the good thing is that I think I'll get it published on Friday. I'll get it made and published on Friday, and I'm not sure what's happening here. I'll show you the original that we're lifting today. Instead of having a recipe, we are actually lifting this lovely page by Missy Wooden, who is always our favorite mixed media artist to lift. And her page has strips, kind of a rainbow order of strips of paper. And then she takes the top color and does mixed media up to the top of the page, and the bottom color and goes to the bottom of the page. And she has tone on tone kind of color matched flowers that look like die cut flowers, and a big old title and a couple photos. So I'll tell you how I got to where I'm gonna be. Okay, first of all, I don't have a die or even a punch that would do little flowers like that. And that was kind of too fussy for me to do for a mixed media page. You know, that was kind of those were kind of my thoughts. So I decided to scrap this photo of James, who was just in Cancun, Mexico, for his company's sales kickoff for the year. And he's shown here at the hotel or at an event with a mariachi band, and he's wearing a sombrero. And when I filtered it with the lights filter in Prisma, it came up with kind of some purplish tones down here and this yellow tone up here where the lights are. So I decided then that I would look for a couple yellow pattern papers and a couple purple pattern papers. I'm not going to use as many, and my strips are a little wider. I cut the strips 1.25 inches, and then I took one edge and I turned it upside down and tore it so that the white border would be on the other side. And then I took my scissors and distressed. I also distressed the top of this because I forgot I didn't need to do that. It's going to be hidden behind all these others. So now I'm going to put these strips together, and we'll see kind of how that, I'm just going to have them put together so that the glue is going to dry. I put the glue in the wrong place there. And I don't know how that's going to work. There, and then I'm going to turn it. Well, no, I guess it's okay. I'll just kind of wipe it off, and it won't. I'll put it somewhere where it doesn't matter if it sticks to anything. And I'm going to do this next one. And I can kind of turn up the ends if I feel like I need to get some texture. All of these papers are Vicky Boutin papers, I believe. I know this second one is from Fernwood, and the others are from Color Study. I've also had Color Kaleidoscope out working with it a little bit, but this is Color Study, not Color Kaleidoscope. Okay, and then this will go off to dry, and then we'll work on the mixed media. My theory is that if okay, so that's that. I needed to put this together to kind of see where my, what's going to show. I kind of want this down a little more. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to distress this top part a little bit, but I think the rest of it's okay. Put it aside. And now, here's my theory. I don't think I finished that theory. I have a couple stamps. I have a plumeria and a hibiscus, which are perfect for a tropical location like Cancun. And so once I do the mixed media application is going to be easy peasy. And I've gotten rid of my picture again, so I need to stop touching my iPad. I'm going to get a wet baby wipe out. And I'm going to start, for the yellows, I have squeezed lemonade and mustard seed. So I'm going to do mostly squeezed lemonade, and then I'm going to stamp in mustard seed. But I'm going to do a few bits of mustard seed. So the yellow background kind of goes a little like that. I'm hoping that you can see that. I'm just kind of now I'm going to put in a few accents of the darker color, and then I'm going to spritz so I can get the sort of the watery look that Missy got. And then I'm going to kind of go around like, oops, I've picked up some red from my mat. And that's going to be okay because I can just stamp around. It's not going to hurt anything to have a little extra color. Let me pull this back down here and do a little more there. Okay. Let's see, let me get those. I think that may be all I use of those until I start stamping flowers, but I will let that dry. Now I'm going to get a different baby wipe. And I'm going to do Shaded Lilac. Kind of that I'm going to spread out a bit to be, and I'm planning for that to be kind of right under the purple, and then I'll have it kind of cascading down. And I'm going to do some seedless preserves, and that's a much different color. There's not enough of a variety of purples in my opinion, ever in anything. But for purposes of this layout, it would have been nice to have something in between these two. Okay, so the bottom mixed media is going to look different from the top mixed media, which is fine. I'm going to do this right here, and then just real quick, I'm going to spritz it and get a maybe some movement of color there. It's not moving very far, but it did get, it kind of blended that in. And I think, let me try something. Yeah, this is going to show just fine. I'll do a group of plumeria there, and I'm kind of doing this without seeing where the photo is going to go and the strips. I'm thinking that the photo will go here and the strips will go across. So some of these upper flowers may not show. So I really wanted to do the stamping after. That was some test stamping just to see that the stamping in this lighter color would show up, and that helped me choose the color. Let me see the same thing in the, whoops. Had I put that down on the purple stamp pad? Oh my gosh. Okay, that cleans up pretty well, but that's weird that I did that. So in case that one kind of comes out funny looking. So these flowers in the lighter color are not really showing. So I'm going to have to stamp those in the darker color. Now, let me clean all this off. I'm embarrassed to have done that because I treasure these oxides. You know how often I use them. Okay, so let me put the strips on, and then we'll see where the photo is going to go, and then we'll kind of plan our stamping from there. I'm kind of putting it up a little higher than, because I'm going to put my title kind of right in here. Okay, I'm going to now, well, okay, let's do this. And let's say we know where the title's going. I'm going to move it a little bit off to one side. And then the title is going to be right here or right here. If I do it here, then I can do some stamping kind of around there. I don't want to put the title on. And then this little llama is going to go right there. And then I'll do some flowers kind of coming down to a peak there. Okay, so I know that I can stamp up here and kind of to here, and then on down kind of below that line there. And we'll see how that works out for me. I'm going to do some hibiscus now and kind of overlapping. I'll do some there, and I don't care if the llama ends up sitting on a bed of hibiscus. That's gonna be just fine for me. And here I'm gonna go up onto the border there, and that kind of looks cute. Let me get a couple more. Make sure that doesn't have anything other than the ink I want on it. Here and here. And I'm going to try with a little bit of this darker ink, and I'm going to pat it on there. That's kind of too much. I don't like it, so I'm hoping it somewhat cools down. I may just to, I'm going to off stamp it. I'll off stamp it onto there and maybe put it there. And then I'm going to do one more kind of right there just to add a little bit of that color. Okay, now I'm going to wipe these off and get the purple off, and then go do the same flowers in the darker yellow. Okay. I'm going to kind of bring this, I'm going to have some stuff out there that will end up covering that up. I'm going to kind of curl those up that way and then do a few in here, and then I'll go back in with the plumerias. My plumeria stamp is really, I think it had something, maybe some dark black ink or something on it. So that's okay because it's mixed media. But if I were doing cards and it behaved this way, I'd be really upset. Let's see, this is going to be like right about there. And so I kind of need some more flowers. Okay, and it's working its way off of my block as I kind of twist it on. I need to just and I'll have a couple running off the page there and there. Okay, so I'm going to do this over to the side, and I think I'm probably ready to put it on to attach the photo. Okay, I'll have to tend to those stamps later. And I'll put this down here, and I'm going to get a paper towel just to kind of get that dry. And same there. And I will put some wet glue back here because things are damp from, although I'm mounting it mostly to the strips, but things are damp from the spraying. Okay. Let me just kind of press that down. And let's put the title right here. There is a little piece of smirch right there. I guess it got in the glue now, so that's okay. So there, just move it over so the no kind of goes up on the side there. The paper's a little bit warping, which means that doesn't go flat down on it, but that's okay. I have this purple flare that I thought I would squeeze in right here. And I have a little compass that kind of indicates traveling, and he was on a trip, so I thought that might be cute on there. These little puffy stickers that I'm using all came from a, I think that's a Pink Fresh puffy sticker collection, and I couldn't tell you what collection, what paper collection that came from. I'm gonna put this guy down right there, and he's gonna partially obscure that dark flower. And the flower actually might look like it's meant to kind of accentuate him. I have this, this little thing that I thought, it says, hello, I am, and you can see he's wearing a name tag badge on a lanyard. And this says, hello, I am, making the most of it. And I thought that was cute. Not sure if I want to use that there or maybe up here. I have a yellow flare that I thought I'd use. How about here? And then this could kind of go out from there. That I don't like that at all. Maybe further over here and something, or maybe like this could go here and the flare could go there and it could go on it. How about that? Let's do that. And I can put it, I guess I need another layer of foam there under the flare. I used my thin foam that I'm trying to use up. All right, and now I'll put this on there, and I'm going to kind of put it, how about if I did it I guess I'm best doing it kind of right out to the side there, and then maybe I don't really like that. This one element's gonna give me the most trouble, and it was one of the first elements I picked out. How about if I put that at an angle right there, and I move this guy. Well, how about I find another flare, maybe even a purple one, to go up there like this fun polka dot. We'll do that. And what I'm gonna do here is just put a little wet glue on the edges and kind of stick it in right there. And then I need to put something on this, so I will look for a word strip or something that, let's see, yay you is kind of cute. Let's party. How about let's party? And I will put a thin strip behind it, if I can find an open package of strips. Here we go. All right. And I love this color scheme. I love purple in the base case, but it just looks purpler when there's yellow around. Okay, there. And then I have this that says hanging out with friends. And I thought that might be cute, so I think I'm just gonna put it maybe right over here by this flare. And now it's just the little things I'm gonna add. It looks like I could use another flower stamped right there, and another flower or two. I'm going to take a chance and do see, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna do it with my fingers. Ink it up, and then I can stick it right there without it, without the block hitting that. So there, and there. That works out fine. And you can still see the purple mixed media kind of peeking through the stamped flowers, which is why I actually almost prefer the stamps, because the other flowers kind of covered up the mixed media. So now I'm gonna put some enamel dots. I have a selection here of different purples and pinks, and I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle them around. I'll go inside. I'm going to try to mix some colors up and put a few next to each other. In some places. There. And here. Okay, so those are the purple dots. And I think that's all I'm going to use. Maybe I'll put one right there to kind of give that some balance. And maybe I will put a large yellow one up here to give that some balance. I don't have the same variety of yellows, and the yellow I have is a little bit greenish, whereas the one in the stamp was a little bit orangish, but that just helps them show up. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'll use a couple big ones. Maybe right there. And I might do a little purple one up there. Let's see if there's a place I could use a yellow one down here. And then I can do kind of purples up there. I think that's all I'm going to do. And I think the page is done. Thank you for watching, and I'm sorry I'm late today. I will, I think this is maybe the second week in a row that I've been late. I'm going to try to be on time next Friday. Bye.